fair ball, and it's to the fence.
Oh, and a goal.
Wanted in front of him. He's inside the 10.
Oh, blocked from behind.
Cut off the glass, no problem at all.
Fifth, one for the cradle.
He got locked up.
One guy that's got an angle on it, and he cuts back on it. Tip ball. And Cravat couldn't grab a ball. He's fly to right field against the wind. It's out of here. Buries it. We're tied at 19.
Stadium for the GMC matchup between the Mason Comets and the Fairfield Indians. My name is Dave Buffenbarger, and beside me today is Eric Bishop, and we'll be calling this big GMC matchup that certainly is between two contenders for the league title. Fairfield has lost a couple close games. Mason is undefeated in the league, and this game will surely tell or have an impact on who wins the GMC conference. Eric, welcome, and this is our first time doing a game together this year.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. It's a gorgeous day outside, bright sunshine, 70 degrees, much better weather than we've had all season. Probably the nicest weather we've had in a long, long time. So I'm super excited to have this game today.
All right, well, great. Let's get the Mason lineup out here. We went through the Star Spangled Banner already, and I'm going to go with the starting lineup in order, the batting order, and we start off with Livia Popovich playing center field. Tori O'Brien playing third base, Brooke Rice catching, Zoe Bishop in left field, Elena Harrison at first base, Ellie Buffenbarger will be on the mound, Allie Weekly is playing shortstop and batting seventh, Meg Hubbard is playing second base and batting eighth, and the ninth batter and playing right field is Jill Aquila. Doesn't look like we're using a flex today for Mason, so Eric, what do you think about that lineup there for the Comets?
Super strong as always. I mean, the Comets feature 4 slappers in the lineup. They play a lot of small ball. They're going to hurt you if you can't field the bunt and you can't field the slap. And they also have a power core right in there with Rice, Bishop, Harrison, and Buffenbarger. Definitely a gauntlet to face if you're a pitcher. So Comets strong offensively, even better defensively. They've only allowed 5 runs all season, and they're looking sharp as always on defense.
Yep, great. We'll go ahead and get the Fairfield lineup when they get out on the field for the bottom half of the inning. But we have leading off for the Indians, Maddie Koger. Batting second will be Ree Hubbard and Lindsay Mitchell. Those will be the first 3 to the plate here. The Comets, Eric, have played another challenging schedule. They had 3 losses, which last year at the end of the year they were 27-3, but close losses to Lebanon and 2 to Hebron Lakewood, the defending 2-state champ with a great pitcher in Courtney Veerstra. First pitch out of Buffenbarger's hand and is in for ball 1 to Koger. Buffenbarger and Koger will be playing on the same travel team this summer, so I'm sure they're already anxious to face each other this very first batter of the game. Second pitch in is low for ball 2. So Eric, what do you think the keys to this game are going to be?
Well, by far, I mean, Mason, as long as they keep their defense up the way they have. We got a fly ball here.
That's a diving catch by Meg Hubbard. What a good catch by Meg. Meg has been rotating off at second base, the primary second baseman. She's been hitting well and playing great defense. And Meg comes up with a big play to start the game.
Huge play, foul territory, diving catch. She's made a couple of those this season. Unbelievable effort. That's awesome.
Yeah, Meg's also on the basketball team, so we have several Comet basketballers helping us out here tonight, and Meg Hubbard with the athleticism of a basketball player on that play.
It's good to take down Maddie Koger right out of the gate.
Yeah.
She's the GMC leader right now in home runs. She's got 3 home runs already on the season. I'm sure she's looking to get some more.
Solid player at shortstop. Ree Hubbard at the plate. She's an Ohio Hawks Gold player, 2000 player, and great hitter, good slapper, tremendous amounts of speed, and Buffenbarger has her down 0-2 to start the bat.
Yeah, it's important for Mason to get off to a good start here defensively, hold Fairfield to no runs in the first inning, and then offensively, the Comets have been slow out of the gate. It's taken them a few innings to get revved up. Usually around the 3rd to the 5th innings is where they start to do their damage.
And as you saw there, Eric, Buffenbarger blows one past Hubbard for strike 3. So we have 2 outs. Good way to start. Nice defensive play by Meg, and then a strikeout by Ellie. I think the defense has been really strong for the Comets overall this year. Limited number of errors. We had a few in the last few games, but in general, the Comets went the first 4 games of the year with 0 errors, and that's amazing. And I think they have a total of 8 errors through 10 games this year, and that again is less than 1 error per game. And I'm sure the coaches don't want the 8, but they'll be satisfied that that's a pretty low number.
Yeah, the Comets have just been super strong defensively all year. The left side of the infield with Tori O'Brien, just a freshman, playing like a senior. She's playing amazing ball, made some great plays.
And the strike 3 there, is that, who do we have batting there? Well, Lindsay Mitchell. So caught her on the outside. So Ellie has seemed to work a lot inside this year, and it looks like today she's working at least to start Fairfield on the outside. So.
It looks like she's got all her stuff. She missed a couple of spots there, but by and large, right on target and throwing flames.
All right, let's introduce the Indians lineup before they get rolling here, and this will go again in the order, their batting order, starting at shortstop. GMC All-Conference player last year, number 4, Maddie Koger. Starting in center field, number 5, Ree Hubbard. And you see in the replay there the
catch
by Meg. Batting third and playing third for the Indians is Lindsay Mitchell. Erin Bedeen is a solid softball player, been around her for years, playing first base today. Playing left field, Jordan Shotwell. The designated player today is Jada Taylor, so she'll be batting in the 6th slot. The pitcher for the Indians, Taylor Delk. Playing second base, Natalie Barrett, another travel ball player for the Cincy Magic. And then batting 9th is Cameron Clear in right field. And the flex player today is number 16, Natalie Elliott. So Fairfield comes in with a record of 7-4. They've had a good season so far. I talked to a couple of their parents today, and I think they're hoping that the good Fairfield team shows up, so that indicated to me that there's been a little bit of inconsistency with their team. I watched them one game and I thought they looked very good, very solid, and I think this is going to be a tough game for the Comets. We're going to have to be on defense and on hitting the ball with our slappers and our power hitters to make this game go in our favor for the Comets.
Yeah, Fairfield's right there in the race, right? You know, anything can happen. Right now, Comets and East are tied for the lead in the GMC, but Fairfield's right behind them.
All right. Leadoff pitch is a strike by Olivia Popovich. She went for the slap, fouled her off, catcher caught it. Olivia, we talk about her a lot, has tremendous speed. If she gets that ball down there in the 10 to 12 foot range, it's very tough to get her out. So she has it right in there. She's running and starting out is exactly what we're talking about. Olivia Popovich gets that ball out in that dead zone there, and if you hesitate for a second, she's going to be safe.
The opposing teams, they all know what Mason's going to do. They scouted them. They know we've got slappers with speed.
Replay with Olivia there. You see this, watch here. Lindsay Mitchell, good player, third base. She comes up, looks once, and she played that ball as well as she could play it, I think. She was right on top of it. Another slap out of Tori O'Brien, the second hitter for the Comets.
It's just great execution by Popovich. She put the ball right down where she needed to, and the ball just kind of died with her speed right out of the box. It's hard to make an out.
Taylor Delk pitching for the Indians. She's up there on the stat leaderboard in the GMC in terms of wins. I think she has 7 wins. She's up there ranked in the top 5 in strikeouts. She also has a good ERA. She's done a great job pitching for the Indians this year, and I think the primary reason for their 7 wins.
The ball outside was called a strike on O'Brien, so she's got 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So I didn't see that. Eric, but are you saying that you're not sure that that was a strike?
Well, my opinion doesn't matter. It's only the umpire behind the plate matters, but my opinion was it was low and outside.
So Tori O'Brien slaps to the third baseman, comes up and makes the play. She does accomplish her job of getting the runner down to second, and that's the Comets will play the small ball game. Now they have 1 out with the runner at second. And as far as Coach Muff is concerned, that's an ideal position to be in. So batting now the catcher, Brooke Rice. She'll be playing on the, again, the same summer team with Ellie Buffenbarger and Maddie Koger from the Indians. Jill Aquila, also on that team, and Zoe Bishop, the left fielder for Mason as well.
Hard hit down the left, but foul. Brooke's been hitting the ball hard lately. She had a grand slam on Monday earlier this week. Put the ball right over the right field fence. Beautiful shot. Hard hit ball. Good to see for Brooke. She's been hitting the ball really hard, really well all season. Good to see a good result there.
So that's good, Eric. We've seen Brooke for years, and there's another solid hit going out to center field deep. Bree Hubbard makes a great catch out there going back to the fence. Great shot by Brooke Rice, but fielded by the defense well. So going back to Brooke, Eric, we've seen her for years. What do you see as like improvements in Brooke over the years?
Well, Brooke's always been able to hit, really, really well. But this year, she's really been standing out. It's her senior season. A lot of work, hard work in the cage over the winter, and she's just pacing the ball. So as a senior, stepping up and showing some leadership is awesome. And then defensively, of course, I don't think you're going to find anyone better at the catcher position.
She has a great arm, and she's a stud catcher. So first pitch fouled off by Zoe Bishop, and I'll take over on this one, Eric, since you might not be objective when it comes to Zoe. Zoe grounds out second base, gets it over to the first baseman for the third out of the inning. But Zoe will show us something in this game. She's a five-tool player. She can run fast. She can hit hard. She can hit for average. She can play defense, and she has a good arm. And we'll probably see one or all of those things in the game today, being it a bunt when we need it or maybe a home run. And I like to hear the intro play for the ICRC television, because me calling that shot to right field last year is actually part of the game start up here. I like that.
That was a big thrill for Zoe to get to have a good result during one of these broadcasts. So she's been hitting the ball hard all season. Sometimes you just hit it right to him and there's an out, but she's doing her job, getting the ball in play, and the results will come if you keep doing that.
No doubt. Zoe's definitely one of those players you want to have on your team. So going to the top of the second, 0-0. I am pretty certain that our Mason contingent, as well as the guys that I know from Fairfield, would have looked at this game as being a close, low-scoring game, and the first inning starts off exactly on that track.
That's exactly right. We said earlier the Comets, all season long have been a little slow out of the gate. They don't do any damage there in that first inning once again. But as they get through the lineup, they've seen the pitching, once or twice. The bats usually start to heat up.
So leading off this inning for Fairfield is Aaron Burdine, first baseman. And again, Ellie and Aaron, good friends, played ball together for many years. Eric, I know you and I both love Aaron. She's a great kid, great player. She has an excellent mom, and we'll leave the jury out on her father, Billy Burdine.
It's great to see Erin in a softball uniform. I know she also plays volleyball as well and has been super successful there, and we wish her all the best, but we do love to see her in a softball uniform.
So popped out, Elaine is calling it in the air, and first out of the inning. So it appears just over history that Ellie likes to work Aaron inside, and then last year Aaron took a couple swings and had a couple injured fingers during the game last year, and that could have even gone back 2 years. But again, worked her inside. Looked like the first inning she was working outside. Now to Aaron, she went inside. Batting now, the fifth batter, Jordan Shotwell, the left fielder. Ball inside. Eric, what kind of stats do we have on Jordan Shotwell here? I know she's a junior for the Indians.
She's hitting .281 this season.
Apparently she shoots well too with a name like Shotwell. We'll have to ask our basketball players about her and see if they know her. So lead off 1-1. Pitch out of Buffenbarger's hand inside for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. We've seen this from Ellie too. Ellie does not like to go across the middle of the plate, and however many pitches she ends up throwing somewhat depends on the generosity of the umpire. And that right there looked like it ended up on the outside corner. I don't have the best angle, but it could have crossed. Ended up on the outside, but it could have crossed that outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a foul off by Shotwell.
Yeah, Ellie works all corners of the plate, both sides, up and down, everywhere she can, but right in the middle. And it's worked out really well for her so far. I mean,
and a change up in there for strike 3.
That's awesome. Opposing teams, I misquoted earlier, they've only been scored on 10 times this season, and half of those have been on home runs. So it's really hard to string hits against Ellie all season long. You know, every time she's had someone get on, she's been able to take care of it and mow them down one way or the other. So let's hope she can keep that up today.
Derek, that's a good point. The Comets have played 10 games and they've only given up 10 runs. It's a pretty good stat. Not many others, I think, in the GMC would have that. Good of a statistic, but we have Jada Taylor, the DP, batting here for the Indians. Starts off with 2 balls, and Buffenbarger comes in for a strike, 2-1.
Jada's hitting .235 on the season.
Yeah, I've seen Jada before, though. Ellie's had a difficult time with her. You don't want to count her out. I've seen her bat in several games against the Comets and against other teams that I've gone to watch, and she has a good bat. Maybe starting out a little slow this year, but they have her in the lineup as a DP for a reason. Foul back to the press box here. Count remains 2-2. Yeah, you look down some of those batting averages, and I see them through the league. And you know, some people are better hitters than their average indicates, and some people have played against, I think, in the Comet situation, and I think Fairfield has done a nice job in their non-conference schedule as well to face teams that challenge them and make them better. I know the Comets have done that. So when you say your non-conference games are against Lebanon and Hebron Lakewood, you know, that's going to impact your stats somewhat. And I tell the girls, don't worry about that. The objective is to be your best come playoff time. And I think playing games that you're going to win by a lot just to build stats, that's not a good approach, and Leanne never takes that approach. Strike 3 by Buffenbarger. Jada Taylor goes down swinging for the 3rd out. And going back to that scheduling thing, Eric, we've seen this. We got you. I was at Hebron Lakewood last weekend to see her play against Courtney Veerstra, who you know well from our summer travels, that she's a great pitcher. And I actually mentioned that to Leanne last year, that we need to play them. We need to see that pitcher. And Leanne always goes out and finds the tough teams. We're playing Lebanon and Lakewood again this year, both tops in their league, and in the state, for that matter. We played Greenville, who is a perennial power. What I respected about Greenville this year, their pitching may not be as good as it has been in previous years, but what I will say, their defense was incredible.
Absolutely
they did a great
incredible.
job.
They were pitching a freshman, and for a freshman, she showed a lot of poise.
Yeah.
And
Didn't walk.
She didn't walk very many, and it took us a while to get started.
Yeah.
Right. So we finally ended up timing her up, and we were able to score. Was it 6-0? I think the final out. But yeah, I mean, testing yourself against the best can do nothing but improve your team, right? And yeah, maybe individual stats suffer, but the only one that matters is the win-loss column, right? How'd you do in your league? Did you win the GMC, which is a goal of the Comets every year? And are you seated well and you're looking good for tournament time? Yeah. And so if you're tested, if you're playing teams maybe that aren't as strong, when tournament time comes around, maybe not as good.
I agree with that, and I commend Leanne for setting up the schedule she sets up for the Comets softball team. All right, starting off the bottom of the 2nd for the Comets is Elena Harrison. Elena's had an awesome season last year as a sophomore. She got off to a little bit of a slower start, but you can see it in Elena. She hits some line shots. She swings a nice, smooth bat, and I know before this season's over, she's going to show us what she can do, and I hope she does it more in the playoffs this year. Good, strong bat, hits for average, calm up there, solid first baseman. She was the Enquirer Player of the Year last year, I think, as a sophomore, which was fantastic. She was first team All-GMC, and there she goes right there. You just see that the second baseman really didn't even have time to get to that. It was hit so hard through the infield.
Hard hit. She's showing why she was Enquirer Player of the Year. And as a sophomore, when you're competing for that spot, not that anyone competes for it, but against all those juniors and seniors ahead of you, that's saying what an amazing season she had last year.
Yeah, and that went by a shortstop that does play travel ball. Natalie Barrett. plays summer travel ball, so she's an experienced player, and just shows how hard that ball is hit. Now batting for the Comets, Ellie Buffenbarger, and no surprise there, looking to bunt to move the runner from first to second. We talked about that last inning. Eric, what do you think about the small ball of the Comets?
It works. You have to play the position or the players that you have, right? And Mason has exceptional talent. Oh, there she goes out.
Yeah, nice bunt by Buffenbarger.
Gets the bunt down, moves the runner over. That's softball.
Yep.
And small ball, hey, if you're maybe not as flashy as scoring, hitting big home runs, but moving the runners around and scoring runs, that's what this game's all about. And if you can't defend it, it's effective. Now, some of the better teams, they play it. Yeah.
So Allie, here's a hybrid. What I call her, she might be safe on that. No, I think we called her safe. So it's tough to tell from here. But Allie is that hybrid player. She can hit for power. She had a home run last week against, was it Hamilton?
It was Coleraine.
Against Coleraine.
Grand slam.
She had a grand slam home run. And she's laid down some of the best bunts of all the Comets so far this season. And you can see this replay right here. And that's a bang-bang play right there at first base. Good job by Allie. First pitch into Meg Hubbard. And a little surprised Allie wasn't moving, but they must feel that the catcher for the Indians has a solid arm. Not that familiar with their catcher. Be Natalie Elliott. And this is her first year catching for the Indians. I know they had a great catcher in here for a number of years. And her name escapes me. I know she was number 55. Great catcher. So this would be Natalie's first year catching for the Indians. Watched her against East, and she did a solid job there.
Yeah, Meg Hubbard's up to bat now, and in a pressure situation, you got a runner on third with just one out.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where you need to get that hit, and Meg has come up big throughout the season. She's had several times where she's been put into a pretty clutch spot and has come through with the hit we needed. So let's hope she does it again right now.
Eric, you saw Allie take off for second that time, so now we have runners on second and third with one out. Now that should score a run for the Comets. Ball to Natalie Barrett on to first for the second out of the inning. But Meg Hubbard did her job. Put the ball on the ground on the right side and got the runner in from third. Another key component of small ball. Good job by Meg.
Sound fundamentals. Get the ball down, move the runners over, and then you just need to hit. And while Meg didn't get on base, we got the ball in play. Run scores. Comets up 1-0.
Jill Aquila up. She puts another one down. Slight hesitation. And she's out at first. She did make that close. Jill's had another good season. I think Jill's speed has improved this year. We had her, and she plays with us in the summer. And in the fall, she did a great job slapping and power slapping for us. But what I think I've noticed here in the spring is that her time from home to first on that slap has gotten a lot faster.
All these girls work out in the off season, and they work on the little things, speed and agility training, strength training, all that, and it pays off when you get into game time situations. The skill is there, the speed is there, and hard work pays off. So
yeah,
it's good to see it.
There's no question about that. We know it both from our daughters hitting those workouts early in the morning by going to Craig Thompson in the off season when they're not playing and making sure that they have their speed and agility in their core, and Craig does a good job working with them. And other girls go to other trainers for the Comets. So it's really a year-round process for the Comet softball players. They put a lot of work in, and I think the results show by their runs in the tournament. It seems like every year. Last year making it to the Final Four in Akron and in the regional finals most every year over the last 4 or 5 years. So strong work ethic, I believe, has helped the Comets tremendously.
Now batting for the Fairfield Indians, number 8, Taylor Delk.
Now batting is the pitcher, Taylor Delk. Again, Taylor's, I think, had a nice season pitching for sure. And then let's see how Taylor's done at the plate this year. She's batting 139. So I'm sure, again, probably a slow start for her. She'll probably pick that up. I just hope it's not today. But clearly when you're a pitcher in a game, your focus is on pitching, and it's tough to be a great pitcher, a great hitter, and all things because in the games that they play, they've been close. I'm sure the pitching is a stressful position. as it is with most teams.
One thing I love about this sport, though, is even as a pitcher, if you get a chance to get in there and hit, you get a chance to help yourself. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So if runs are down or giving up, here you have a chance to go do something about it. Great game.
Yep. 2-2 the count to Taylor Delk, pitcher against pitcher here. No outs in the top of the inning. A soft grounder to Meg at second. Throws it on to Elaine at first for the first out of the inning. Good battle there. We've said this before, and I say this, even though she had 196 strikeouts last year, Ellie is not set up to be a strikeout pitcher. She gets a lot of them, but that situation right there, she's going to mix them up in and out, up and down, and hope to get them off balance so they either hit a pop-up or a weak grounder. And we've gone through several games where the other team will not even get a ball to the outfield. Now, she knows when she makes her mistake pitches, and sometimes they'll get to the outfield and beyond. And she'll kill me for saying that, but getting her spins, hopefully those home runs go down over the second half of the season.
Well, Ellie's got a lot of confidence in her defense behind her, too, so she's not having to feel like she has to put the weight of the world on her shoulders. She can put the ball where it needs to be, and if they get one in play, okay, fine. She's got this defense behind her that's just been tremendous all season.
Yep. Fouled off. 2-2 count to Natalie Barrett. Natalie, I believe, plays for her father's summer team. He's coached for many years. Second baseman, batting eighth for the Indians.
Another ground ball to Meg.
Meg's
Cleanly
up.
fielded.
Over
And
first. Yeah, that's good.
through that.
Let's talk about Meg a little bit. It's the first year up on varsity full time, and we weren't sure. There's several good players options for second base. When you look at this, you have Meg, you have Hannah Lee out there, you have Taylor Heitfeld. So they have, really, those are three players that could really be starting for any team we've played, GMC and otherwise. And Meg's won that out. I'm sure the senior leadership piece has a lot to do with that. But performance has shown that not a bad decision.
Oh, no. The Comets are super fortunate that they've got depth everywhere. We've got speedy outfielders that can play. We've got girls that can play just about every position on the field. So the girls that are in there have earned it and continue to earn it every game. Ooh, there's a hard shot.
Yeah, the right fielder and the ninth hitter in the game gets out on one and places it over Meg Hubbard's head. A nice line drive into right field. Jill Aquila comes up with it clean, gets it into second. 2 down and a runner on first base.
Again, Maddie Koger leading the GMC in home runs with 3.
Now, you didn't just speak that into existence, did you, Eric?
I did not.
There's that. She hit that same spot last time. Uh-oh, Jill's got a good arm. Oh, she's out at second. Nice play there by the Comets. I'll tell you, start that off with Jill. Her and Meg both went for it. Jill comes up with it clean. Jill has a great arm, we know that.
Oh, yeah.
Comes up, fires a strike to third a little bit late. Read well by Tori O'Brien, or did Allie cut that off? Allie may have cut that off. We look at the replay. Goes down. No, Tori threw it down to Allie and tags Maddie trying to get an extra base out down at second base. Now, the funny thing about that is I was with at Fairfield last week, and let's look at that replay. Nice effort by Meg.
In the dead zone.
Jill did the right thing. Comes up. Look at that arm right there. Target cut off by O'Brien to Allie, and she is out at second base. So I'm at the Fairfield game last week with Maddie Koger's dad, Craig, and Bill Burdine, Aaron's dad, 2 Fairfield fathers, and they were talking about base running. And I watched that game, and they had a couple base running situations there that didn't work out in their favor.
Right.
And they were joking with the girls after the game how they're going to have a base running practice. But right here, we just see right there, I think that as the Comets earlier, when they had first and third, they didn't get aggressive. They wanted to score the run.
Right.
Fairfield got aggressive there, and I think missed out on a potential opportunity.
Well, sometimes you get a little greedy on the bases, right? Can't settle for what you have. Give all the credit in the world here to Tori O'Brien, who sees her going. And
for the Comets last couple years, Lindsay Mitchell over, and he got her on that one.
Close play, though.
So Lindsay Mitchell, the third baseman for Fairfield, she plays for one of the Hawks teams as well. And Lindsay, we see her, she's a pitcher. She's also a pitcher, so we see her at Lessons. She pitches before Elliott Lessons with Danielle Bear, and she looks like a really good pitcher there, really good young pitcher. But the last 2 years, she's played third base against us in all games, and we played them 3 games last year, including the tournament, and this one here, and she's played solid defensively in all of those games. So a nice third baseman, and you kind of need a good third baseman to handle the Comets.
Yeah, especially since we have so many slappers. And, of course, Fairfield has scouted us here, so they've got their infield in, they've got their outfield in as well. The second baseman's all the way up next to the pitcher here. You can't see it on camera, but O'Brien tries a little chop shot up into center field. Good play by the center fielder, but that's when you have your players up like that, you can defend against that play as well. So.
Right.
Good play by Fairfield.
That's one thing to either hit the gap there. I mean, it's a good shot by Tori coming out. They're playing her up for that reason. Good shot, just happened to go right there. But you're hoping to find a hole out there, get it past the infield playing in. So Brooke takes a full cut at that. I think she's still feeling the positive effects from her Grand Slam home run the other day.
That was fun to watch. Again, someone who's put the work in deserves success. She put a laser right over right field for her first home run of the season. And then, again, nice way to do it with a grand slam.
Yeah, that's right. At Sycamore on Monday evening, 13-1, final score. But Brooke hit that grand slam that kind of closed the deal and moved it into a 5-inning game as opposed to a game that went longer. So we got the run rule. That grand slam was certainly helpful in getting that. And it was nice to have a 5-inning game. We played, 2 full games Friday night at Friday Night Lights. We played Centerville and Greenville. Quickly ground ball to Koger. Koger on to first for the third out.
Yeah, the Comets have seen a couple of extra inning games, one against Lakota West and another one against Hebron Lakewood this past weekend. Yeah. So nicer to have a shorter game than it is a longer one, as long as you're on the winning end.
Yeah, I think it was helpful for us to have that short game on Monday. Hebron Lakewood, the second game there went 10 innings, 2-1 score, great defensive battle. Teams kept making play after play. Then they finally scored that run in the bottom of the 10th, which is a little bit of a heartbreaker. But again, getting out there and seeing that competition, to go travel and play 2 road games 2 hours away after 2 Friday night games builds the girls' stamina up and gets them prepared for playoffs. Hopefully we're playing on a Friday night in Akron and then coming back on a Saturday and play, so we'll be used to that process after playing 2 on Friday and 2 on Saturday last weekend. And traveling, after a Friday night late game, getting in late, traveling to Hebron Lakewood, that's a challenge just to get yourself focused and on track. And I think we saw the first few innings of the Lakewood game, they were not quite up to speed yet.
Well, like I said, the Comets have been slower out of the gate just about every game. So, and here's another one where we're already in the 4th inning and the score's just 1-0. So
Yeah.
Tight game like we wanted.
1-0, top of the 4th. And again,